Twice a week in the Papuan capital of Jayapura, an inter-island ferry docks, spilling out its human cargo. The passengers are ethnic Papuans and Indonesian trans-migrants who've made this province their home. You won't find many foreigners disembarking and no journalists. It took us months and many permits later to get here, so paranoid are the authorities. After 4 decades of Indonesian rule, trans-migrants dominate the coastal cities. They also dominate the economy, the police and the military. Yet half of all Indigenous Papuans have never been to school, and most remain on the margins of society. They've become vulnerable to an epidemic that has already infected up to 3% of the population and set to double in future. They're mourning for their friend and neighbour, Yaman Wenda. He died this morning of AIDS.
Kami mohon agak cepat pemakan mau dimulai.
AIDS worker David Wombrau met him a few weeks ago, and today he's organising his funeral. Once every month, he and his staff reach into their own pockets to buy coffins, crosses and graves, because people like Yaman Wenda come to them when it's too late.
Baik, pada di siang hari ini, hambamu dipanggil oleh Tuhan.
And God may soon be calling on 5 of Yaman Wenda's friends. They're also HIV positive. Field workers fear there will be many, many others. HIV/AIDS is more prevalent here than anywhere outside of Africa.
In 2001, it's low people who positive, but now almost every week my staff see some people who positive. Maybe 1 week ago, my staff take 30 people and 5 of them positive.
In the darkness, Yaman Wenda is being laid to rest. At least he knew his killer. He contracted HIV/AIDS by having unprotected sex in a culture where men have multiple sexual partners. But many others have died undiagnosed and uncounted.
Saya merasa kita sudah dalam situasi yang kritis. Karena silent itu tertutup.
For every 4 people infected in Papua, 3, like Yaman Wenda, are Indigenous. And in a place as tense and sensitive as this, everything, even health, becomes infected by politics. Indonesia took control of Papua in 1969 under a UN-brokered but flawed referendum. A policy of transmigration then began in earnest, culturally and socially transforming the province. Now that HIV/AIDS has arrived and hit the Indigenous population the hardest, some Papuan leaders are alleging it's been deliberately introduced to decimate the Papuan population. Agus Alawa is a respected Papuan leader. His predecessor, Teis Elowe, was assassinated by Indonesian special forces. He says HIV/AIDS is just the latest strategy of Indonesia's to destroy his people, once the overwhelming majority reduced through time to 66%.
We are put this issue as the genocide reality here in West Papua.
Can you explain further what you mean by genocide?
We have some experience and then some indication that a lot of Papuan are dying anywhere because of the disease of HIV/AIDS here. This is a kind of business because of behind of this disease we have illegal logging, illegal mining, illegal fishing, all of this. Then all of this business bring the prostitute women come in Papua.
So who organises the prostitution in these remote areas?
It cannot survive without any supporting by military or police. No. Never.
Agus Alawa has no evidence of genocide by HIV/AIDS, and only a handful of other Papuan leaders agree with him. Constant Kama, a former deputy governor of Papua and now heading the AIDS Commission here, is not one of them.
Karena data-data kami juga memberi gambaran bahwa HIV di Papua dimulai lewat kontak pedagang, kontak nelayan, bukan militer, bukan oknum-oknum tertentu.
Merauke, the southern port city, gazes across the Arafura Sea, where Thai fishermen regularly trawl the waters. And in 1992, they had sex with local prostitutes. When they'd finished, they'd left behind Papua's first recognised cases of HIV/AIDS.
Hak untuk kebebasan, the right to freedom.
Dr. Nafsia Boy heads the Indonesian AIDS Commission. The wife of a former governor of East Timor, she's come from Jakarta to help out. The free condoms they've been sending are just not being used.
Bagaimana pengalamannya? Laki-laki nggak mau. Alasannya bukan karena dia beragama, maka dia tidak mau pakai kondom. Dia tidak mau pakai kondom karena dia minta kenikmatan. Ya toh?
She also knows that men can be unfaithful, so she's pushing the female condom as the first line of defence.
Caranya memakai sama saja, ini hanya ditekuk demikian, kemudian dimasukkan ke dalam vagina seperti tadi, jadi bisa jongkok begini, bisa miring.
She says women must act to protect themselves in a culture that has always practiced high-risk sex.
Ya, gini. Nah, demikianlah terjadi. Begitu? Ya. Ini yang terjadi. Nah, kalau sudah selesai, memang betul ini keluar, ini tetap akan tinggal. Jelas?
There is a history of high prevalence of sexually transmitted infections in Papua. Even during the Dutch colonial times, 2 times there was a big outbreak of STIs, and some tribes were almost wiped out. So it's not that this is something new.
Merauke has one of the highest sex worker infection rates in Indonesia. In Yoba, the red light district, the advertising in the brothels is all about safe sex. Condom use is compulsory, according to the brothel madam, who says she goes around and checks that they've been used. And as for the girls, well, the local government has made testing compulsory.
Iya, setiap bulan diadakan pengecekan 3 bulan sekali tes darah. Apabila anak-anak di sini ada yang terinfeksi tidak diizinkan untuk bekerja. Jadi di sini dinyatakan 100% anak-anak bersih. Karena dari kesehatan kalau ada yang sakit dihentikan tidak boleh bekerja.
So what happens if a girl, you find she is HIV positive? Where does she go to work?
Di sini juga belum pernah dengar ada yang terinfeksi kerja.
Tati Mama is either lying to us or unaware of what's going on under her own roof. When she's gone, we secretly interview a sex worker she'd recruited from Java. Let's call her Lola. Lola is HIV positive and still on the job.
Oh, kalau yang kerja di sini sudah lama, tapi masalah tekan kurang lebih dari 1 tahunan.
When you have a customer, do you tell them that you're HIV positive?
Memang kalau masalah begitu saya tidak menceritakan toh, tapi setiap ada tamu itu memang diharuskan harus pakai kondom.
And if the customer says, no, I don't want you to use a condom, I'll give you some more money, what do you say?
Oh, saya begini memang kalau pakai saya tidak mau.
Health officials had better hope she's telling the truth, because this is the regulated sex industry, the one they think they have under control. It's a 3-hour drive from Merauke to Demande village, home to 250 members of the Marin tribe. They've organised a traditional welcome because visitors don't come here often. Neither do they get much in the way of health services here.
Helen.
Village elder Paulinus Dinkin says health educators first came here 4 years ago to warn them of the dangers of this deadly disease. But he still doesn't know very much about it.
Memang ada orang meninggal, tetapi kita tidak bisa pasti tahu bahwa seperti saya kena AIDS. Kemudian mungkin dari penyakit lain, tapi tidak secara terbuka, umpama dari keterangan dari keterangan dokter. Selama itu macam kami itu kan tidak terasa itu apa itu AIDS, seperti itu.
Not one person here has been tested for HIV, and they have no idea where to get condoms.
We have not been able to reach them with appropriate health services and all that. But the man can walk down to Timika, can walk down to Merauke, etc., have fun, get infected, and then go back to their families.
Cintaku padamu putih bagaikan salju. Percayalah kekasih.
It's a Saturday night in Jayapura's Imbi Park. This is the secret sex industry, where services are provided in cars, alleyways and the beach. Most of the girls are Indigenous and few are full-time. They're here because they have no alternative. Hiding in the shadows is Ernie. She's troubled and illiterate, the daughter of trans-migrants. She's already had 2 clients this week, making just enough to feed her 3 children. Ernie is also HIV positive.
Do you tell your clients that you are HIV positive?
Sama lah. Malu tuh. Terlalu.
Do you ever use condoms? Does it not worry you that you could just be passing this on to other people?
Biar.
That's probably how Emil Deda got it. He was a security guard who often worked away in Timika, near the Freeport gold and copper mine. And he didn't tell his wife, Wilhelmina Sawaki, that he went to brothels.
Mungkin karena dia takut nanti baku marah, bertengkar gitu, makanya dia sembunyikan. Tapi dia juga belum tahu kalau dia positif. Setelah nanti dia sakit di sini, pemeriksaan baru dia sadar untuk dia perbuatan waktu di atas sempat dengan perempuan lain. Makanya dia sampai bisa tertular gitu.
Wilhelmina Sawaki is now HIV positive and part of a disturbing development. There are now more HIV positive housewives than infected prostitutes.
Memang waktu pertama kita dua sempat putus asa. Putus asa mau bunuh diri aja.
Her husband died of AIDS 2 months ago, and he fits the profile of the typical carrier of the virus, from the brothel into the family home.
Ya, para ahli bilang mobile man with money.
It's a weeknight in Sentani, Jayapura's red light district, and the Kijangs are virtually bumper to bumper. That's the four-wheel drive favoured by public servants. They've got money and a third of them regularly buy sex. More money began flowing to them after 2001, when Jakarta granted Papua special autonomy. And as the money and developers flowed to remote areas, so did prostitution, fertile ground for the spread of HIV.
Tapi ini adalah arus pekerja seks yang bergerak dari satu daerah kepada daerah lain. Mobilitas penduduk Papua keluar Papua juga cukup tinggi. Mereka juga bisa kontak seks di luar Papua. Orang Papua yang keluar Papua, mobile man with money.
A degree of self-government for Papua has also meant decentralisation of health services, and ironically, this has made it even more difficult to fight the virus. Officially, Jakarta says the prevalence rate is 15 times the national average, but field workers say the figure is closer to 50 times.
Sakit perutnya? Tidak. Kembung begitu.
This woman was infected by her husband, and she's since died, leaving behind 3 orphans. Papuan leader Agus Alawa despairs at the ever-increasing death toll.
All of this, the cancer has come from Papuan men. And then after they have sexual relation here and then back to their home, and then also they sleep with his wife or like this.
But that's
so
not...
most of Papuan women are victims here.
But then that's not genocide, is it? That's not the Indonesians introducing something deliberately to kill the Papuans, is it?
Really, that is not really direct plan of genocide, but it's indirect because of the who arranged all of this business way. And then the Papuan, or men or women, they are victim because they are involved this business.
To leaders like Agus Alua, the wounds of the past are so deep, his people so traumatised, that health and politics inevitably merge. Suspicious at the need for a 14,000-strong security force under special autonomy, he says they're here to weed out the independence fighters, and HIV/AIDS fits in with this strategy. It's a claim dismissed by Jakarta, though it must be said that soldiers, also being mobile men with money, have so far not been tested for the virus.
The process of delivering the disease or delivering of people here in Papua, it is the best way how we can influence the Papuan people in order to stop their political aspiration, I guess.
We, on our side, are doing our best to save this nation, to save Papua from the disaster. I think that's the best we can do at the moment, and prove that yes, we do care. Every single Papuan is important to us.
Today, almost every single Papuan knows someone who has died of or is infected with HIV/AIDS. Husbands and wives, and now tragically, children.
Tapi itu cuma satu kali. Kenapa Tuhan memberikan saya virus apa? Maksudnya
Samuel Imbiri was infected at the age of 12.
Saya mulai pikir-pikir bahwa saya ingat bahwa mungkin saya pernah berhubungan seks satu kali saja. Tapi itu cuma satu kali.
Once is all it takes.
Bagaimana saya harus bergaul intim dengan Allah.
Di jalan itu di situ kita ada 10 orang. Kita ada 10 orang yang sudah positif HIV. Tapi mereka sudah mengerti apa itu HIV dan AIDS, dan mereka juga sudah mengerti apa itu cara penggunaan pakai kondom dan apa itu pencegahan supaya kita tidak tertular pada HIV/AIDS. Tapi mereka sudah mengerti, tapi mereka tidak menggunakan kondom. Mereka hanya asal berhubungan seks saja begitu, tukar-tukar pasangan. Jadi dari sebagian itu juga mereka masih ingin menularkan kepada orang-orang lain lagi.
If attitudes don't change, if the brakes aren't put on infection rates soon, Papua will face a social and economic catastrophe in future.
I cannot say I'm confident, Helen, but I'm hopeful. We can do the best we can.
Samuel Imbiri is now 18, and he represents the age group with the highest infection rate. He should be the future of this province, yet he's living on borrowed time.
Kekhawatiran itu bisa terjadi bahwa kalau generasi muda yang sekarang ini tidak hati-hati, tidak mau mendengar, tidak takut terhadap bahaya HIV.
Samuel Imbiri is talking, but no one is listening.
Situ juga sudah memberikan mereka informasi dan penjelasan mengenai kondom dan HIV dan AIDS, tapi mereka malas tahu, mereka tidak mau mendengarkan semua itu. Mereka tidak mau mendengarkan, jadi mereka biarkan saja tanpa kondom saja mereka lakukan hubungan seksi gitu.